It's late, you're half asleep, and you open the app to check your retirement account. There's the little green number at the bottom, and there's that quiet hit of, okay, I'm doing this right. That number might be the most comforting assumption in your financial life, because the scariest forecast on Wall Street isn't a crash. It's a single quiet number that slid past you. 3%. That's the annualized return Goldman Sachs calculates we're stuck with for this decade. We are already 2 years into that forecast, and for those counting on a massive recovery, the clock is ticking. Not 3% plus inflation. 3% period, which after inflation is basically zero. And the same bank publishing that is telling you to stay fully invested and trust the market. Same firm, same month. Somebody's getting the real memo and somebody's getting the brochure. My name is Nick, and I read these reports so you don't have to. This isn't a video about a crash. It's about the slow, silent decade that does more damage than any crash, and why the index fund you think is keeping you safe might be the single most exposed thing you own. So let's actually sit with that number for a second, because 3% a year doesn't sound scary. It sounds fine. It sounds like a savings account that's trying its best, but 3% before inflation over 10 years on a market that most people are counting on to fund their entire retirement is the financial equivalent of running on a treadmill and calling it a road trip. You're moving, you're sweating, you are going absolutely nowhere. And to be clear, this isn't some guy in a gold bug newsletter screaming about the end of the world. This is the most mainstream institution on the planet, Goldman Sachs, the bank your bank's bank uses, and they are not alone. Meet two people who are going to follow us through this whole video. First, there's Daniel. Daniel is 57. He's doing everything right, but he's now less than 8 years from his target retirement date. For him, a lost decade isn't a theoretical risk, it's a retirement killer. Then there's Catherine. Catherine is 28, just opened her first brokerage account. And when a survey asked her what return she expects from stocks, she said confidently 10% a year, maybe 12. Hold on to both of them, because by the end of this, the gap between what Daniel and Catherine believe and what Wall Street is quietly forecasting is going to be the whole ball game. Back in late 2024, Goldman Sachs issued a landmark forecast that most people ignored. They estimated that for the decade leading into the mid-2030s, the S&P 500 would deliver an annualized return of just 3%. And then they go further, and this is the line that should stop you cold. They put a 72%